Exhausted and tired, Ciri collapsed in the swamp. Some peasants found her and took her to the Baron, Velen's self-appointed ruler. The warlord took the young woman in, had her nursed back to health, and sent her on her way to Novigrad.
Que tengo para darte a ti y a tus amigas, así que tenga. Okay. Rayo, hoy. ¿Qué hago aquí? ¿Para dónde voy? Encuentra el carro del zapatero.
This be my turn. It's a beastly madman. Gurgles demon blood every morning.
Not willing to believe that, no, I'm not.
It's a sack of millet from the ladies. Except not one, but two they left on the way to the shrub.
Nothing left but the parade. No even spares its space.
Doesn't look damaged. Strange. Need to look around. Might find something. Signs of a scuffle. Somebody knocked out. Dragged off. Wonder where its wearer is. A shoe. Something tells me I'm on the right trail. Wonder where its wearer is. What's he doing here? Greetings.
Away go with you go. You did pick me.
I can see that. Just wondering how those shoes is wound up here.
Here you did grow. Like the mushroom.
Shoes don't sprout from the ground. You see who left them behind here?
Speak no log. Oh, anger gets Og and Pog.
Og and Pog. Those your friends?
Finderinger's great Og Pog. Human finder on big suited cards. Suited big like so.
What did they do to this human?
Og Pog man's cover to take. They're over.
Do you eat him?
Nah, no. Body man's, stringy man's, blah. Oggy make man's suited make. Fog, Pog and Rog suited make.
You even need shoes?
Suited on humans it is. Suited once Og, Pog and Rog. Big lords trollers be. Like humans is.
So long. Troll cave must be nearby.
Man suited is. I need it.
Taller? Should have known. Who better to teach trolls how to cuss?
Geralt, my, been bloody years.
This hole.
Relax, Og. This bugger's an old friend of mine.
Bugger Fredo, go! A whiz in soup throw.
I'd make for an awfully veiny morsel.
Right, true that. Just look at the ploughing bastard. Naught but skin and bones. Well, gentle trolls, high time I travelled on. You, practice what I taught you. Give you a fucking exam next time I come through.
Can't let no go. Tell her sit. Sit ass down. Tell her suck cock shoesies make.
I can see you've made friends. But Taller needs to come with me.
Blood nowhere Tyler go. Tyler shoesies makes.
But I need him.
Tyler's here stay. You shoesies got. Og shoesies got not. Rug got not. Pug got not. Tyler shoesies make. Tyler go.
Now let's all stay calm. Taller will be back. He just needs to come with me. We'll, get some leather for your shoes.
Listen to Geralt. He's telling the ploughing truth. Look at your feet. They're fucking mammoth. Need a damn bale of leather to make shoes for them. Understand? Me and Geralt will get some cocksucking leather. Then I'll come back and make your blasted shoes for you.
Shoesies pock for? And rug for?
2 pairs for each of you gnarled pricks.
Tyler go. But back come must.
Knew you buggers were good mates. Sit tight. Be back in a bit. Got to admit, you have a waited. Never thought of having children.
Children aren't trolls, and vice versa. Besides, witches are sterile.
Ah, you've not changed a bit. Still tart as rotting rhubarb. Just happened to be passing through, or did someone send you to find me?
Roach and Dijkstra.
Ah, mean they've not forgotten me. That's nice. Though I am grateful you came to get me, Geralt. Must have a lot on your mind, all those monsters to kill. Thanks again, Geralt. I'll take it from here. And I'll be sure to tell Roach and Dijkstra how you buggered Og and his mates sideways. As I see it, they'll be so impressed they'll shit themselves.
Tell me, you were a fence in Vizima. How'd you become a cobbler?
Pick the least suspicious profession. The fence thing, shite cover. Pissed too many folk off. I didn't need the attention. It's all about being an innkeep. You meet a lot of folk, you know, tossers mostly, but willing to talk about all sorts of things. Problem is, you're tied down like a mutt on a chain. One and the same yard all the time.
Whereas a cobbler travels everywhere.
Better believe it. Even cobbled together this fancy rolling stall.
Lovely.
Bloody bullseye. I've made a small fortune out of it since the war started. Those pricks in uniform are always marching. Know what happens when their cocksucking boots disintegrate? Their feet bleed, blister up. Not a soldier out there wouldn't sell his mother for a comfy pair of combat boots.
So what'll you do now?
What do you mean? Head back to Novigrad. Dijkstra, Roach and I have got a master plan to set in motion.
I'll ask again. Details.
Forgive me, mate, I plough in calm. See, were it just up to me, I'd spill it loud and proud. You're trustworthy like no one else I know. But I'm not on my own, so bloomin' unilateral decisions are out of the question. Trap stays shut, I'm afraid.
Right. Gotcha. So long, Taller. And good luck.
Oh, I can bloody use it. Radovid's one crafty ore with a clap. But we'll figure a way round that twat. Soon the old bloody North will be blathering about how he got fucked.
Careful it's not also blathering about 3 assassins, drawn and quartered.
Fear not, Geralt. We know what we're doing. Farewell.
It's been a while. Fill me in.
Nilfgaard fucking dismantled.
What do you do now?
Grassroots work.
Life treating you all right? Farewell.
Yeah, I do. Most of...
She cast no spells, on my honour. An elf's honour worth less than a man's shit.
Yes?
It's chamomile. She brewed teas for stomach pain. Aha! So she did it.
Legends of the White Wolf.
Make a note.
Easy.
It's a
I'll give you a
material
discount
world
for heroic
and a
deeds, but the
material
madam, well,
Drink
you
all
know.
I had.
What's the hurry, my prince?
Black ones, Redanians. Black ones, Redanians. Don't pay. As long as they pay.
I've had enough of living.
No loitering round here. I'm warning you.
Can girls become witches too?
The eternal fire will light our way.
Locked. But looks like Zed's inside, and in hot water. Gotta find another way in.
I'd give you a discount for heroic deeds, but the madam, well, you know.
Must be Zed.
Find it?
No.
Duke will be peeved we didn't get Zed to spill where he keeps the ledger.
I tried, didn't I?
Might have pressed him too hard. Shit. Well, at least we got the Isengrim card.
Greetings.
Come on, Ringo. Time to shine. Get him! Ow!
Something. And we're looking for something. And we're looking for something. Isengrim foiled Tiana from the Scoia'tael deck. And we're looking for something. And we're looking for something worth snooping around for. Either Zed had an ornery cat, or there's a hidden compartment under there. And we're looking for something. 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 For something. And we're looking for something. Either Zed had an ornery cat, or there's a hidden compartment under there. Must be Zed. And we're looking for something. 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 Zed had an ornery cat, or there's a hidden compartment under there. They were looking for something. 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 Either Zed had an ornery cat, or there's a hidden compartment under there.
I'd give you a discount for heroic deeds, but the madam, well, you know. I'm
Move
so...
it!
wet.
Eternal fire will guide us.
Didn't look like rain. Oh! Get off.
Any needs, Master?
Open up.
Oh!
Ooh.
Cost you double in the rain.
Get off.
What's the rush? The eternal fire will light our way.
They were looking for something. They were looking for something. They were looking for something. Either Zed had an ornery cat, or there's a hidden compartment under there. They were looking for something. They were looking for something. Either Zed had an ornery cat, or there's a hidden compartment under there. They were looking for something. They were looking for something. Must be the names of people Zed sold cards to. Zoltan ought to have a look at this. Winds howling.
Cheated me.
Zoltan?
Get out.
About those cards.
You got them?
Got the Isengrim card.
Show it here. Ha! They say hells are beautiful. Zed give you much trouble?
Zed's dead. I ran into his murderers.
Won't cry over spilt Zed. What about the other cards?
Zoltan, sure this business isn't getting a little too dangerous? I mean, men are dying over these cards.
Just Zed. Believe you me, he wasn't an innocent bystander. Besides, I'm certain he snuffed his killers out on the spot, so why worry? Tell me about the other cards instead.
Didn't find the other cards.
Fuck! Bugger must have sold them.
Listen, got Zed's ledger.
Show me. Entries show him selling the cards to Caesar Bilson and Ravi. Could have been worse. We need to pay him a visit.
Who's Caesar Bilson?
Cleaver's clerk. A decent fellow once, but so high and mighty now you can't drink with him, let alone go fishing.
Fishing?
We met at the Anglers Club, the pride of the Pontar. But Caesar don't show around there no more. So caught up in his new role, he almost never leaves his house.
At least we won't have to run around town looking for him. Ravi. Who's he?
A common card sharp and a swindler. Boggles my mind where he got the coin for the Natalis card. Ever since I gave him a smacking, things between us have been frosty, so you'll have to see him alone.
Zoltan, seems awful important to you. I'll try to get you those cards.
Thanks, Geralt. We can see Caesar together. Meet me outside his townhouse. Gaudiest eyesore on Hierarch Square. He had the facade painted gold. And if you want to see Ravi first, I'd look for him at the Golden Sturgeon if I were you.
All right. See you later.
And no need to pussyfoot around with Ravi. Beat him about the ears a bit. He'll cave. Well, good luck to you, Geralt.
Washed your hair lately?
Let's play Bert and the Witch.
Yay! She can be the witch.
Armed ruffians in town. Scandalous.
Come closer, don't be shy.
Broke his crown. The hell with the crown.
Jackasses! Blasted horse and all! Scum sailing from across the sea!
It's never too late to see the light.
Ram, time and again. I'd kill for some vodka. You again. You again.
Fuck off.
How about that? It's the flea-ridden mutant. Join us, please. Ravi loves company. Look how happy he is to see us. You happy, Ravi?
Sure, he'd be happier if you stopped digging the point of that dagger in his back.
Oh, you're just saying that because you don't know the situation. Our mutual friend Ravi was just about to play for his life and...
Oh, you got the card. What else do you want?
If you'd just given it up, instead of trying to cheat us, we'd be out of your hair already. As it is, that's all your fingers broken. So, it seems the Witcher will have to play for you. Sound good? See? Ravi's on board. What do you say we add some spice to the game? Raise the stakes. Ravi's life and the Natali's card. Fancy that?
Agreed.
And here I thought you'd be no fun at all. Let's play, let's play! Yes! Curb your enthusiasm, mate, and sit still or you'll hurt yourself.
But he won!
So, now we'll play something else. You're carrying! Take him back! Eye for an eye!
don't know how I'll repay you.
Natalis card will do just fine.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you prefer some other? Got a whole array you might like.
I'm in a hurry.
The Natalis card, of course. Here.
No glass tastes as sweet as
Bravo, Witcher.
Looky,
And the tear
Mr.
of
Fancy Pants.
Round, round. I'll make you weep. I won't complain.
Since yesterday it's not. Looky, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I serve the eternal fire.
You're thinking customers will see right away. Let's deal with
As
this
they
side.
say,
with
a
the sun.
bard must be a quick talker.
Ah, you're here. How'd you make out with Ravi?
Got the Natalis card.
Excellent. Now we've just Caesar Bilzen to fleece, and we'll be home free. We'll do this. I'll chat him up while you sneak upstairs and search his cabinet of curiosities. Certainly keeps the card there.
Can't we just buy the card off him? Doesn't that sound simpler?
If I had a coin to spare, I'd sod off to Provis. Besides, Caesar'd never sell Fringilla. But don't you worry. He won't lose out on the deal. Got a bottle of Mahakaman spirit for him. A taste of the motherland's finest is worth more to an expatriate than some silly card.
Thought you said Caesar doesn't drink.
No. I said it's hard to have a drink with him on account of his rarely leaving home. Also why he's like to get pished as a priestess real quick. 3 rounds and you could walk out with everything in that cabinet while singing the 3 maids of Vicovaro at the top of your lungs.
So what's in this cabinet?
Ah, no man knows. You'll be the first to see it. I suspect it's either to do with buggery or metallurgy. But you can tell me once we're done. Let's go.
Shivi.
Caesar Bilzen. I remember our quarrel about who's king of the Pontar.
The Pike's king of the Pontar.
Well, see, I've come to convince you it's the catfish, and I do not come empty-handed.
Who's he?
Well, him. Well, that's Geralt.
Does say Geralt fish?
Not really. Mainly hunt.
Good that. One lion angler at the table's enough. Come on.
So what for Xanders or eager biters if they taste like shite and soapy water?
That's 'cause you're about as good a cook as a goat's arse is a clarinet. Just recently, I took some fresh thyme.
And it tasted like time-flavoured shite.
Shut it. So, recently, I took this time...
Geralt? Care to chime in? How's Xander taste to you?
Happen to like Xander.
Cause you're a witcher! But you shoving them potions, shit's a delicacy to use.
A witcher? Never mentioned he was a witcher.
Bilzen, did you hear Vibo Matilda last cast a pea and caught a young pike?
Ah, cocksuckers lying like always. Ponter Pike ain't so dim-witted to go after his rotten peas. You need live bait. Or night crawlers, though the pike aren't as eager, don't know why. Once, dug up a crawly so fat and lovely I started drooling. Would have eaten it myself.
I'm not so sure. Geralt, what do you and your pals use up at Kaer Morhen?
Live bait.
You see, Chibi, he'll make a good angler yet, in some 50, 60 years.
We'll wait and see. Geralt, go fetch us another bottle.
Right. Can see the bottom of this one.
So, when are we gonna go? For catfish.
I'm done fishing with you. You forget what happened last time.
What about last time? Shouldn't he have yanked so hard?
Knife looks like it's attached to the tabletop. Drawer is open. Triangular hole in the wall. Interesting. Fits perfectly. Secret door behind a bookcase. Classic. Dining set from which Emperor Mir ate during his coronation ceremony. Batier de Rideau's dagger. Ah, here's Fringilla. Joachim de Ved's skull. Pretty grim curiosity. Rope with which Stefan Skellen was hanged. Portrait of Emperor Mir, tempera on wood. Pretty flattering, I'd say. Full armor of the 7th Dareland Brigade. Excellent condition. Full armor of the 7th Dareland Brigade. Excellent condition. Dining set from which Emperor Mir ate during his coronation ceremony. Statuette of a man. Wasn't carved, but produced using magic. Shame I can't ask Triss about it. Full armor of the 7th Dareland Brigade. Excellent condition. Joachim de Ved's skull. Pretty grim curiosity. Joachim de Ved's skull. Pretty grim curiosity.
Got there.
Butcher. Witch hunters everywhere. Everywhere.
Zoltan, time we were on our way.
I suppose so. It's grown late.
Wait now. Leaving already? Where's that bottle you went to fetch?
Greetings, Belzen. We've a message for you from the boss.
Message? What kind of message?
Mr. Cleaver's very unhappy.
Now, just a minute. If any discrepancies have cropped up in the books, I can explain everything.
Too late. Grab him! And you two, get lost.
Leave him alone.
Cleaver will pay extra for killing the Witcher.
Well, up to it, lads. Haven't they got all day? As they say...
Damn it.
And the Witcher took Stalker. Silver.
Nice reasons. Thanks. Oh, how will I ever explain this to Cleaver?
I'd recommend a letter.
Right. Got a pack.
Good luck then. Farewell.
You've a soft heart after all, Geralt. Oh, by the by, splendid job with that last one. Blood splatter nearly hit the ceiling.
Looked through Caesar's cabinet upstairs.
And?
No wonder he wasn't eager to show it off. Nilfgaardian armor, a portrait of Emir, Joachim de Vet's skull, Vatier de Rideau's dagger, the rope they hanged Skellen with.
Oh, shite. Disgusting fellow. To think I shook hands with him. But did you happen to take the rope? I know a few would pay a tidy sum for it. Some go in for that sort of thing.
No.
If you say so.
Also found a figurine. Nilfgaardian soldier. Magic spell on it of some sort, but I can't tell what kind.
Triss ought to know.
Triss is no longer around. So, got the full set of cards. What now?
Now we collect a shite load of coin for them. Let's go. The exchange. We should do it right quick.
Afraid your client might change his mind?
Oh, I'm more likely to. Had so many buyers for these cards, I felt like the belle of the ball.
So the buyer, who is he?
A friend of a friend. Don't know much about him, but he's of Duke's ilk, no doubt about that. You know me, Geralt. I'm not prejudiced against anyone, as long as they pay. Oh, I can't wait to get the king of beggars out of my beard.
Ah, at last. I fear the body's gone cold.
What is this?
Your would-be buyer handed us his coin and departed. More or less in that order. Now, the cards, please. I trust obtaining them wasn't too troublesome?
Try it and find out.
You wish me to try? I'm not as foolish as Earl. You ought to know that by now. Get to work, boys. The dwarf I wish to have alive. I must have a chat with him.
Doing it. Geralt, bastards getting away with my coin. Damn it, with our coin. Chase the horse, son. I'll tend to the others.
Rumble time! Now left!
Go on, Geralt! After him! I'd only slow you down.
told me like that way. All for knocking root those out.
What? Can't understand a word.
Can't get away, Duke. Might as well stop.
Leave me, swiving drowners.
You could use a witcher.
Ha ha, highly amusing. If I give you the coin, will you leave me be?
No. Rather make sure this was our last meeting.
So, you get him? You get the coin?
Yes.
And what about Duke? Finish him off?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's grand. Well, Geralt, what's your preference? Coin or cards? I'd never have managed without you, so you choose. If you want gold, it's not a problem. I'll find another buyer for these cards in a flash.
Kinda curious how the cards might serve me.
Excellent! I'll take the coin to the King of Beggars right away. Surprise the prick.
Good luck, Zoltan.
Thanks, Geralt. And remember, the catfish is the king of the Pontar.
Ah.
Yes, you! You've got water on the brains!
Vile times.
Man's always got it up there. Got my eye on you.
And it's raining again.
I haven't the strength, Geralt. Perhaps you can talk some sense into him.
Positively did argue.
What was that about?
She spat in my face. Or might as well have. Called me a whoremonger and a witless hack. Can you imagine? Wit is my forte.
Gotta say, Priscilla's really growing on me.
Save it.
And why don't you save your pouting? Prove to her she's wrong.
Exactly what I plan to do. I've always dreamed of having my own cabaret. A bit of paint and plaster, and this place will do splendidly. Just one hitch. I need coin. So, if you happen to get a break between drowners and ecamajigs, maybe you can help an old friend out.
How can I help you?
I dated this girl once, Sophronia. That's a name if you can believe it. Has a merchant for a father, importer of spices from Zerrikania. And Daddy Dear would never refuse his daughter Dear a thing. We can borrow the coin from her.
Name rings a bell. Isn't this the woman you abandoned without saying a word? Stepped out for a bottle of wine, never to return?
You know, I bought that wine for a reason.
Long time ago, that.
Been away a while, sure. Which is why I need to draw on your authority. You've got some, you know, no matter what you might think.
Fine. Tell me what you want. Got a feeling you've a plan all cooked up.
Sophronia could still be holding a grudge after our unfortunate parting. But with a touch of help from you, I know she'll forgive me. And then give me that loan.
What's this help entail?
First of all, we need to borrow a dull sword from Madame Irina, one of her props. You know, the kind they use during performances? Get that, then meet me outside Sophronia's house.
Let's say I agree and go see Madame Irina. What'll you be doing in the meantime?
Something I have to finish. But I promise I'll do it before you come back with the sword. Then I'll tell you the rest.
Let's say I agree and go see Madame Irina. What'll you be doing in the meantime?
Something I have to finish. But I promise I'll do it before you come back with the sword. Then I'll tell you the rest.
Sorry, Dandelion. Maybe later.
You always say that. If you change your mind, I'll be here.
Got a minute?
For you, my friend, always.
Ran into Molly. She says hello.
Molly? Which Molly?
One you promised to show your butterfly collection to.
Ah, yes. Now I remember.
Butterfly collection? You of all people could stand to be a little more inventive.
Molly didn't need inventive. She needed attentive. Average, run-of-the-mill girl. Give her a smile. Notice her shoes. Let her chat about them a bit. And she'd turn into a wellspring of passion.
Got a portrait of Hierarch Himmelford I'm willing to part with. Want it?
Yes, those halfling painters. This one of theirs? Wonderful. I put this up with the Rosemary in time. It'll make those temple guard inspections so much easier.
How do you and Priscilla meet?
Huh. It was at the court of Duke Harold, the annual balladry contest. We faced off in the fight.
Who won?
I don't remember.
I bet. Probably lost and you don't want to admit it.
Actually, she'd caught my eye, so I let her win. I was counting on getting a prize after the contest.
And? Did you?
That, my friend, is not your concern.
Gotta tell me, how'd you wind up owning this establishment?
You'll never believe this. I inherited it from none other than Alonzo Wiley, Whoreson Sr. himself.
You're right, I don't believe it.
Alonzo ruled the local underworld with an iron fist, but deep down, he was a romantic, pure as they come. This place is one of the reasons his son's not my biggest fan. See, Cyprian Jr., that is, wanted to make this a brothel, but the Rosemary went to me, and I planned to turn it into the most elegant venue in town, a den of art and culture.
What did you want from Sophronia? Slipped my mind.
Geralt, I want to transform this esteemed establishment into a first-class cabaret, and that takes funds. Enter Sophronia.
I remember now. How to help you convince her you're trustworthy.
Exactly. And to do that, we need a sword from Madame Irina Renard's prop collection. So, will you help?
Fine, but...
Geralt, the only butts in this plan will be the ones filling my seats. It'll work, you'll see. Get the sword from Madame Irina and meet me outside Sophronia's at sunset.
Oh, man knew and left me a gift last time.
What? He never given me that.
It's everywhere. You don't know how to give your cross food.
What's he schemed up this time?
No loitering round here. Look awfully suspicious to me, tramp.
As they say, a bard must be a quick talker.
Hey!
And a witcher, a quick stalker.
All's in order. Let us live, eh?
Ah, so good to see you.
You and Dudu know each other well?
Yes, though he's never told me much about himself. He was a merchant once?
Mm-hmm. Dudu always had a penchant for enterprise. Probably too honest to succeed in Novigrad, though.
Precisely. I've told him countless times that no matter how many times he changes his appearance, the good in him will always emerge. Bloodthirsty tyrants and vicious assassins. He played them so poorly. That must be why. Whereas he always made for an excellent trusted servant or ghost of the old king.
Got a request. Need to borrow one of your props. One of the swords you use for stage battles.
My. Whatever do you need that for?
I don't know, but Dandelion claims it's essential.
Oh, yes. I suspected Master Dandelion might have a hand in this. I certainly hope you don't aim to compete with me. Well,
Thanks. I'll try not to damage it. So long.
I know who you're nice with you when you come. Hey!
This will pass.
Don't do that again.
Ah, finally made it. Listen, here's the plan. Sophronia loves adventure-filled romance novels. I can be a hero in her eyes if I can just save her from a bandit. I'll have her eating out of my hand, and there's no way she'll begrudge me that loan.
Want me to be the bandit?
Knew you'd see the sense in it right away.
Are you serious? That's your brilliant plan?
I never called it brilliant, but any kind of plan is better than none. Written your lines already.
You've written what?
So you know what to say during the performance. Here, and your mask. Put it on. Sophronia can't recognize you.
But...
No time. Sophronia's coming. Stick to the plan. We'll meet at the Rosemary in the morning.
Stop right there.
What is this? Help! Save me!
Tremble, flaxen-haired wench. Bow before the Prince of Thieves.
Not so fast. Drop your sword, scoundrel. This is your first and last warning.
Dandelion!
'Tis I, though the scum of the city call me the Crimson Avenger.
No, not the Crimson Avenger.
Silence, vermin! You shall regret the day you were born.
Dandelion! Crimson Avenger!
You're better than I thought. I've been hit! Ow!
To the house, quickly! He shan't get us there! Eternal fire, what do you want from us? Leave us be!
This rogue will soon run off. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't chance getting caught by the guards. Would he?
I serve the eternal fire.
Look awfully suspicious to me. Swear, life's sweat enough in the gutter.
Just hopped out for a smoke.
There's been a misunderstanding. You're here too early.
We agreed to meet today, so we've come today. Supplies are all hauled in and the crew's raring to work.
We'll start just as soon as our lovely directress gets round to deciding on the decoration.
But Dandelion doesn't even have the coin to pay you.
Turns out he does now, or soon will. At any rate, he's working on it.
See? It's all peachy. So will you finally decide what style you want for this interior?
What are our choices?
Master Dandelion said he was torn between boudoir style and theatre decor. Promised to let us know his choice soon as we arrived. Now we're here, but no decision's been made. And the lady's horribly surprised she's to choose. Though apparently this whole renovation's for her sake.
For me?
Well, it's not for me. Now, would you please decide where I bust a vessel?
I've no idea what Dandelion would like. Get on. You've known him longer. Say something.
Boudoir seems like a better fit for cabaret. Just don't go overboard on stuffed upholstery.
A wonderful choice it is. At last. Gentlemen, you're done lollygagging. Get to work.
Well, well. Guess this cabaret's the real thing.
Ever since Dandelion inherited this place, he's talked about it constantly. I just never expected him to take action. And so quickly.
Who knows? Might even settle down now. He'll have to keep an eye on the business. Who would have known?
Despite what people say about him, Dandelion approaches life very rationally.
True enough. Adheres to the principle that a life enjoyed is a life well lived.
You needn't mock.
I'm not. I mean that. Nothing wrong with the principle. Dandelion just knows how to enjoy life. It's a good thing.
Dandelion can also be responsible. He always pays anyone who works for him on time, and he's never missed a performance.
Sure hope your opening won't be the first. He's still not here.
Well, he said as soon as he got the coin, he'd go see Polly, our choreographer. She's missed the last few rehearsals. I certainly hope he's not gotten into trouble.
Anything's possible with Dandelion. Let me see if I can't find him.
It's raining again.
Oi there! What do you see, pain giver?
Didn't look like rain.
Open up!
What's the ruckus about?
Polly and her half-brained fiancé. They're fighting. She's the only one in this town who knows anything about choreography, and that lummox won't let her work for me. Hold on. What are you doing here? We were gonna meet at the Rosemary.
We were, but you didn't show. Priscilla started to worry, so I came to see how you were doing.
Priscilla started worrying about me? That's so nice!
Less for her than for you, I'm sure. So let's get back.
Did you not hear what's going on in there? We've gotta help Polly. Why do beautiful women always end up with such dicks?
No idea. Stand back. I'll break the door down.
Wait! Do we have to destroy her house? She keeps a spare key around here somewhere.
How would you know she keeps a spare key around here?
It's not as if we started working together yesterday. Before Polly joined forces with Hubio...
You'd visit her? Often?
I'd hide out here while Priscilla and Polly rehearsed at the Rosemary and Thyme. They worked on the dance numbers I composed.
So, Polly's not one of your...
I never mix business and pleasure.
The one exception being Priscilla.
Who you were just saying is worried about us. So enough of the chatter, and start looking.
Fine, let's find the key.
Find anything? Damn it. Now where
Not here. Ah, the key.
Whoa! What the devil's this? Get out of my house!
Watch it, and leave the woman alone.
What the... She's my betrothed!
But I'm not your property.
I love her! I'll not let her sway her ass in his brothel!
Whoa, slow down there a minute. This is clearly one gigantic misunderstanding. One I can clear up in the blink of an eye.
Shove your excuses up your ass! Sod off, or I'll split your skull!
My friend asked you nicely, so please be courteous in return and hear him out, or we'll settle this another way.
All right, talk.
Hubio, right? Polly's told me so much about you. She said you're erudite and have an open mind.
You said that? Well, there's a truth to it. My mind's the open salt, but its open saltedness ends when my betrothed starts wagging her ass around brothels. Get out of here, both of yous. Polly's not going anywhere.
Let him finish. There's no brothel involved.
You see, friend, Geralt just hit the nail on the head. For what you have there is the old publicity placard.
Old?
Very. From a time when my establishment was under different management. I, however, would never let any indecency take place in my cabaret. My very reputation precludes it.
So, what's all this about?
Your betrothed is a first-class artiste, and I want to offer her a position worthy of her talents. She's to be my choreographer, and that in turn means she'll receive a share of the proceeds from every performance she choreographs.
You mean to say... coin?
And fame. No flirting required. You have my word.
Suppose... in that case...
I knew you'd agree.
It's settled then. See you at the Rosemary, Polly.
Well, I'm off.
I'll catch up to you. Whew. Never expected that to go so well.
You handled it well, Dandelion. Man was buddy in your hands once you called him erudite.
In negotiation, as in combat, the key is to find your opponent's weak spot and exploit it to the hilt.
So, time to head back?
I've still got to stop by Rotlex. Commissioned some new placards from him a while ago, but Hubio came across the old version. Plowing artists got some serious explaining to do.
Who's Rotlick?
Never heard of him? Hank Rotlick, famous portrait artist?
Commissioned a portrait artist to paint your placards?
Henry's an old friend, needed the coin. And I decided we needed new placards to promote the opening performance. Seats won't fill themselves, you know.
I'll go see Rotlick. You head back to the Rosemary, or Priscilla will have my head.
Really? You'd go?
No, said that for the hell of it. Tell me where he lives.
Portside.
See you soon.
Let us live.
What am I to do now?
familiar. I ever wallop yet?
What say you we up over to a bluff on his head?
Looking for Rotlick.
You ain't alone. Damn halfling's in debt to half the city, but I'm here to scrape mine before the carcass is picked clean.
There's not enough for everyone, so bugger off. Feeding time's first come, first served.
You're not gonna rob him.
Strange, don't recall asking your permission. Get him, Fred! You regret this, mutant. Don't know how much Rotlick owes you, but everything in this house is mine. Want to get something back? Try the Vagelbud estate. Rotlick's losing his last crowns at the races, I wager. Now get the hell out of here.
My dad is a witch.
Ow!
I'll miss a woman's touch. Pam param, pam pam param, pam param. I tell you,
Oh.
this city's hard. So.
No loitering round here.
I think I'm in love.
By order of the hierarch, whosoever conceals a maid in their home
Naked. Rotten.
Now let's try as a stockfish.
A new rider pulls into the lead.
Well, Rotlick, seems you're a considerable sum in the red, but you shan't back out on that account, eh?
Won't have much of a choice before long.
You Rotlick?
Henri Rotlick, artist, painter, debtor, and martyr to my art. At your service.
Dandelion sent me.
Oh, yes. Tell him his placards are done and safely hidden away. Yet, alas, I cannot fetch them, as a group of angry creditors has seized my home.
Think I might have run into one of them.
Then you know my predicament. And now, Count de Louverton has offered me the chance to win it all back. I'm to wager on a race.
Generous. Not just anybody could afford to do that.
De Louverton is not just anybody. He's Duke Sam's youngest son. Sam of the well-known family of gem dealers. One debt more or less makes little difference to him.
What's there to worry about? This is your chance to settle up, get a clean slate.
We've had a spell of bad luck lately. Should I agree to de Louverton's offer and lose, I shall be in bondage to him for all time.
Listen, all I really want are the placards. Tell me where you tucked them away and I'll be out of your hair.
Forgive me, I cannot. I hid them with family heirlooms that would work those barbarians lurking outside my home into a slavering froth.
Then go fetch him yourself. I'll wait here.
If I show my face there without coin, they'll beat me to a pulp. I must win back my debt somehow, else I'll never return home.
Let me pay off your debt. No strings attached.
Thank you. I never expected this. May I ask to what I owe this generosity?
Let's just say I like to do a good deed from time to time. Can we get those placards now?
I'll bring them to the Rosemary in time, just as soon as I settle my obligations.
Fine. See you there.
Ah.
So I'm afraid to see the surgeon. Never know when they'll accuse a man. So our boy jumped him by the head, dragged him to the garden.
Honestly, I'm not
Greetings.
Greetings. Have you come to race, or are you merely a spectator?
Haven't decided yet.
Speak to the race master if you decide to compete. He's over there, on the platform. You seem quite the rider, though not as good as Luke. A shame, really. I'd like to see someone knock that conceited brat down a peg.
You'll see.
Wondering if I could take part in the races.
If you've coin for the rider's fee and a steed of your own, why not? Decide quickly, please. There's a race about to begin.
These races. Tell me about them.
They're run as per Erasmus Vegelbud's dying wish. He came into his fortune by gambling and remained proud of the fact to the end.
Family doesn't mind having a racetrack right by their house?
But the house, his fortune, would not even be theirs had they not fulfilled Lord Erasmus's wish. He made it a condition.
Any special rule for the races?
They're as simple as Lord Erasmus was. 2 competitors, simultaneous start. First to complete a lap around the track wins.
I want a race.
Grand. Your name and the name of your steed.
Geralt of Rivia, on Roach.
Excellent. Your opponent, let me see. Seamus Holt, astride Athos.
Competitors, saddle up! On 3! 1, 2, 3! Off you go!
Bailiff's a harsh man. Best not cross me.
Maybe I should send them out to the creek.
All this ain't worth a dog's to drink.
Hear ye, hear ye! The final of the Erasmus Vegelbud Memorial Derby is...
Not bad. Yet we shouldn't kid ourselves. The competition was hardly stiff. Shall I sign you up for another?
Watch it.
Would you threaten one newly born with a whip or refusing to bow?
Menga's ideas honestly, I'm not
about this later, all right? I suppose so. But when will we actually profit from this?
I'm not sure I understand.
Gods and men, dumbstruck with awe, behold, madmen galloping to the streets.
I've no doubt it's
Imperial lackey.
The old grand shut and shut, holding tight to
Come on now.
Happiness will come today. My poor.
We start in G major, and
I've told you, the people...
Well, well. See, the crew's been hard at work. Not bad.
No, not all. But imagine something more, you know, more theatrical. What about Rotlick? Did you get the placards?
Rotlick said he'd bring them on his own. Should be here soon.
Great! The best way I can think of to promote the chameleon.
Never mentioned wanting to change the name.
Rosemary and Thyme wasn't all bad, but it conjured images of Temerian cuisine served by waitresses in peasant garb. Chameleon's a lot better for a cabaret, apart from which it emphasizes that the place has undergone a transformation. Just a better ring to it all round.
What about choreography? Prepared anything special for the opening?
We haven't. But Polly has. She's priceless. Came in and brought the girls in line before I could say knickers. Premier will have the audience on their feet, on their knees, both at the same time.
Guess everything's ready. So when's the opening?
Soon. We start our dress rehearsal in an hour. I just need to nip back home for my dress.
Thanks for everything.
Don't mention it.
Seems my cabaret dreams are about to come true. So, around to celebrate? I'm buying.
Why not?
That's my boy. The foreman mentioned he saw you and Priscilla talking.
He saw right.
And she say anything about me?
Can't say I remember. Why do you ask?
No reason.
Well, well. Never thought I'd live to see the day. Dandelion living in monogamy.
I've always been monogamous. Well, near enough. I just changed muses often.
Priscilla, another one for your collection?
No, she's its crowning glory.
One thing's eating me. How do you manage to get the loan from Sophronia?
Oh, wasn't easy. She got so excited about our performance, I had to read to her for 4 hours. 4 hours from the Cloak and the Dagger.
You mean you didn't...
Are you crazy? Who do you think I am? She's dead, of course. She knew how important this was to me.
Of course she did. Probably just making herself gorgeous. Takes time away.
So it's true. A woman's vanity knows no bounds.
Master Dandelion! Priscilla, she's...
What? Speak, man!
She's badly, been attacked. They took her to Vulmerius Hospital.
Attacked? She's hurt? Geralt, come with me, please.
Of course, let's go.
Gods. Priscilla. Is she gonna live?
I'd say that's certain. Her condition's critical but stable. Beg your pardon, but you are a relative?
Relative? No, a friend. A very close friend.
Dandelion, correct? She uttered the name in her few moments of lucidity. I am Joachim von Gratz, head of surgery. Until recently, a lecturer at Oxenfurt Academy.
Enough of the courtesies. What are her injuries, besides her eye?
A concussion, cranial swelling, incision into her larynx, and scalding inside the throat and esophagus. Clearly someone forced her to imbibe a caustic fluid.
Who could have done this?
That I do not know. I do, however, know she is not the perpetrator's first victim.
How can you know that?
I've seen wounds like this. They're not the kind one would forget, don't you agree? In fact, just this week a corpse turned up in the morgue with similar injuries. And no heart.
No heart? You mean that might have happened to Priscilla? Is someone looking into this?
This is Novigrad. Only the innocent burn here.
Geralt, I know I owe you 100 times over, but I need to ask you another favor. Find the bastard who did this. Find him. And kill him.
Don't need any convincing. Come on, Dandelion. Let's think about what we can do.
I would suggest examining the previous victim's corpse. It has yet to be autopsied. Doing so could very well provide some clues. No need to look astonished, gentlemen. As a surgeon, I know the importance of preventive medicine. Rather than wait for this maniac to strike again, I'd prefer to excise him. Not unlike a tumor.
Great analogy, but this tumor's not gonna sit there, wait to be excised. Appreciate the help, but I doubt you know what you're getting yourself into.
I know perfectly well, and I assure you I can take care of myself.
Easy assurance to make, harder to back up, especially if you've spent your whole life wielding a scalpel, not a sword.
Look at this scar. Don't be shy. Any idea what leaves such a mark?
A flail. Morningstar, maybe.
What do you think? A blow sustained at the operating table? No? Let me repeat. I know what I'm doing, and I wish to help.
Think they'll let me into the morgue?
By the main entrance, certainly not. But you can also get inside through the sewers.
The sewers? Travel them often, Doctor?
As often as required for, the pursuit of preventive medicine.
Alternative treatments. Aggressive ones, I'm guessing. Interesting.
We can discuss this en route. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Ready and intrigued. I'll get whoever did this, Dandelion. Even if it's Hierarch Hemmelfart himself.
Thanks.
You lead.
So, preventive preventive medicine you practice in the sewers. What's that about?
Think. Sewing up drowner victims can grow awfully tedious. Is it not better to nip the problem in the bud? I tried to get the temple guard to enter the sewers, alas, to no avail. That?
Been hearing it for a while. Draw your weapon.
Excellent fool!
Come on! How's it look? Give it to me straight, no sugarcoating.
Her wounds will heal, but it's her voice that concerns me. Surely you understand what a terrible blow that would be to a Trobritz. Enough to strip her of the will to live.
Any remedy for that?
I fear only your friend Dandelion can be of help on that count. Take the ladder. This is the place. Come, the quicker we take care of this, the better.
Why? Got somewhere to be?
Someone might disturb us. The coroner, for example. Or Reverend Nathaniel Pastodi. Very well. We seek the corpse of a dwarven woodcarver.
Looks like necrophage has got to this one. Human. Wrong body type. Calluses on the fingers, sawdust in the beard, clothes sticky with sap. Must be our dwarf.
Excellent. I trust you don't grow weak in the knees at the sight of blood?
Not a bit. Start the autopsy.
Where?
Let's look at his head. Hair smells like it's burnt, like he was in a fire.
Notice anything else? That his eyes have been scooped out, for instance?
Those burn marks I see in his eye sockets.
Yes, and some grey dust. Ash, it seems. Very fine.
Murderer gouged out his eyes, then put burning coals in the sockets.
So it seems. Looking at the wounds, it appears our woodcarver was still alive when it happened.
Let's examine the mouth. Burns, blisters.
Just like Priscilla's.
See this? Incision made into the voice box.
Indeed, so thin as to be nearly unnoticeable.
A small, extremely sharp instrument. Scalpel.
But why? The wound is too small to bleed, and there are signs of swelling. The murderer... I believe he performed a tracheotomy, so the victim wouldn't die too soon.
Let's examine his torso.
What have we here? Deep wound on the left side of his rib cage, and a scar the length of his stomach.
Let's examine the chest wound. Yeah, heart carved out, wound cauterized.
Wait a minute, there's something else.
An egg from an amphibian. A salamander? Scorched but intact.
I attended some lectures in herpetology as a student. I'm afraid I don't recall any amphibians that would lay eggs in corpses. So either Professor Cochrane was deeply mistaken, or this is our murderer's doing.
Look at the scar. Wounds long and thin, an incision. But the edges are ragged.
Means nothing. Look, no swelling, no bruises. An old injury, perhaps an accident in the workplace.
Open the abdominal cavity.
Due warning, it will stink of rot.
Once fought a Zoogle up to my waist in sewage, so I doubt... Wait. Smells not rot.
Formaldehyde. A medical novelty. Heavily diluted, it's remarkable at preserving organic tissue. In stronger proportions, it's more destructive than acid.
Explains why there's no smell of decay, and why his throat's scalded. Look at his hands. These welts. Rope burns, right? He was tied up.
I'd expect so. No one could sit through such torture unless bound.
Speaking from experience?
Yes, that of a victim. Spent a year in the dungeons of Tretogor. Long story.
Some other time, maybe. See the callus? Our dwarf wore a ring, but someone took it off him. See anything interesting on his legs?
His right foot. Ankles swollen, toenails broken. He clearly kicked something very hard. Right before he kicked the bucket.
Doesn't strike me as the right time for jokes.
Apologies. We surgeons, we've a different sensibility.
Mm-hmm. And a different sense of humor. His genitals, we ought to inspect those.
I sincerely doubt they bear any relation to the matter.
We'll see. Pull down his trousers and... shit.
Syphilis, actually. Early stages. No sign of diffusion.
Think there could be a connection?
Only as the killer's potential motivation.
All right. Think I know enough.
Enlighten me, please, because I've still no notion what this is about. What the motive might have been.
It's some kind of sick ritual. You saw it. Burns in the eye sockets, cavity where the heart should be, scalding liquid, all centering on warmth, heat, fire.
A fire eternal.
It's a lead worth following. Any idea what his name was?
Fabian Meyer.
And I'm Hubert Reich, the coroner. I've come to perform the autopsy, but I see you've done it for me, Joachim. As always, you interfere where you're neither needed nor wanted, drag others into trouble in the process. Who is this?
A student. Lifelong learner. Got a couple questions for you.
Very well, speak. But be quick. Reverend Nathaniel has come by for an inspection. He'll be here shortly.
You old friends?
Hubert taught me the rudiments of medicine long ago.
And not very well. You've still not mastered certain basic principles. For example, that a doctor's role is to treat the ill, not save the world.
You've not changed a bit.
A compliment?
No, a statement of fact. 30 years, and you've not changed a bit.
Woodcarver's body. Where was it found? It's important.
Plan to investigate? Exciting. He died in his workshop south of the market square, just beside the gate to Far Corners. That poor Trebyran's was attacked there. City's abuzz about it. But the woodcarver, Eustace the corpse collector, brought us the body. You should speak to him. Saw him just around the corner near... Oh, greetings, Your Reverence.
Who are these people? I believe I made it clear no one's to be allowed in under any circumstances.
You did, but they're friends of the deceased. Here to collect the body.
Out of the question. Show them out at once.
As Your Reverence wishes. Gentlemen, follow me. You shall leave via another route.
Why do you cover for us?
I was covering my own arse. If Reverend Nathaniel had learned someone had entered the morgue, then cut open a corpse without his permission, I'd be in deep trouble. But you didn't give that a thought, did you, Joachim? As ever. Well, while I don't approve of your willfulness, I also wish to see this murderer hang. So, should I learn anything new related to this case, I will let you know.
Thank you.
Nathaniel. Who is he?
A scoundrel. A rogue. Like every man who wears the robes of the Eternal Fire.
Most are scoundrels before they ever put on the robes.
True in his case as well. Before he donned the frock, Nathaniel was a torturer. Delighted especially in torturing women. Later, Hierarch Hemmelfart appointed him to oversee the morgue. He deals with the temple guard, supervises cremations, conducts funeral masses in the temple on the Isle, and so forth.
Dream job. Might have told me you know the coroner. We could have skipped the trip through the sewers.
I know him, thus I avoid him. I've said enough on the subject.
I decide when we're done with the subject. What's your connection to him?
An old story, but if you insist. The student protests in 1242, you've heard of them? I led them. Hubert, however, denounced me to the authorities. I landed in prison. There you have it. What will you do now?
Plenty of leads. Woodcarver's workshop, the corpse collector who found him, alley where Priscilla was attacked. Got work to do.
As do I. At the hospital. I must return there. But I shall keep my fingers crossed.
And I'll keep my eye on you.
A million debits and a million credits. That makes 2 million.
Whoa!
Oi!
Watch it, tramp. Novigrad's not your stomping ground.
Hold it off.
Bloody bandits! Can't go out in the
There's
streets no
swarms in
more.
the city now.
She waves too
Ah!
much and used
What
to
will
be
become of us
under
under Radovid?
What? What's that frown about? What?
Ah! Tis a dog's life. And?
And have I hired a witcher as my debt collector?
Hey, free boy. What do I do?
So, how you go with this here?
I
hope you so bold. Folk in this city, racial hygiene's as poor as their personal hygiene.
Hey, handsome.
I know that smell. Formaldehyde.
Grab him!
Sis.
Human.
That him.
How am I
Priscilla's.
gonna? Watch him, see what he does.
A brazier. This time of year?
That's it.
You're carrion!
Think you'll gut me too, huh? Up your ass, deviant! Hoes can fight back!
Calm down, I'm not gonna hurt you. What are you doing here?
Getting vengeance. Well, why are you staring? Have you not heard killers always return to the scene of their crime? Me and my brothers are waiting here to give him a warm welcome. For Priscilla. Almost did her in, the whole son.
I know. Here to look for clues and find anyone who might know something.
Fear I can't help you much. But I can tell you what I know.
Priscilla wasn't the sole victim. You aware of that?
Oh, dearie. Of course I was. This didn't start yesterday. Others have died like this before. Beggars, street girls, orphans. But who'd have a drama concern about them? Human rubbish. It's what the guards call us.
Recall any names?
They didn't have proper ones. Baldy, curly, buns. That's what folk called them. No friends, no families. Their bodies were burned long ago.
You and Priscilla friends?
Friends? Nah. But she saw more than a stupid whore in me. Treated me with respect. It mattered. I was looking to give up whoring. Pick up a decent trade. But none would take me. Not as a washerwoman, nor a servant, nor a cook. Felt like a leper, I did. But Priscilla, she was different. Agreed to put me in her play, you see? Lots of the other actors, they were afraid on account of her jesting about the eternal fire. Whistling Wendy on stage, can you imagine it? Well, dream's gone now. I'm back to working street corners.
Sorry to hear that.
You could do worse as work goes. Or so I tell myself.
Take care now. I gotta look around some more. Appreciate it if you didn't disturb me.
Naturally, we'll stand aside, behave. But do tell us if you find anything else here.
Oh, my head's ringing. Awful pale. Oh, you scared?
Man's footprint. The murderer's maybe. Weight on his heel. Took a step back. A brazier. This time of year?
What do you want?
The most, widest range of goods around.
Oh, lovely trifles.
Murderer fled before the guards arrived. Ran this way. Trail ends here. Strange. Even I couldn't jump this wall.
Awful pale. Oh, you scared?
Their days in the chapel.
Come to a good day. Haven't scared a soul. I've not spilled soup in anyone's head neither.
Yes?
Oh, he's a war veteran. Spare me a crown.
Anyone home?
Begone, or I'll sick me hounds on you. Molly, Striga, come!
Relax. I'm here about Fian Meyer, looking for his killer.
That's altogether different. Sit, you stupid mutts, lie down. Come on in. Slowly now, lest they bite you.
Charming as beasts go.
You daft? Even I'm scared of them. A better barking dog than an evil man at your door.
Got someone particular in mind?
Sure as shite. Bugger who did Fabian in. As soon as they'd hauled his corpse off, I ran to a mate who raises fighting dogs. Bought these 2 mutts. Cost me a chunk of change. But asleep sound at least.
So who might you be?
The Stiff's brother. Gus is the name. We ran a workshop together. Meyer and Meyer.
What'll it be now? Just Meyer?
Name it. I'll be closing it down now. As soon as I find a buyer for this shack, I'll head on to Mahakam. Be near my family, or what's left of it. So, what do you want to know? What can I tell you about Fabian?
Tell me what you know about the murder, in order, in detail.
It was like this. Had some work in Oxenford, and I was coming home. Saw a plume of smoke rising over the city. Thought to myself, blast it, gonna miss him burn another hag. But the smoke wasn't coming from Hierarch Square. It was coming from here. See the soot stains? That's where they burned our sculptures. Folk gathered round the blaze and found Fabian here beside it. They'd already loaded him on the cart by the time I arrived.
Talk to your neighbors. They see anything suspicious beforehand? Hear anything?
Claimed not to. But even if they had, they'd not have helped. In Novigrad, folk give bleeding orphans in the street a wide berth so as not to stain their poor lanes. What do they care about some dwarf?
Your brother have any enemies? Anyone dislike him? Threaten him, maybe?
'Twas Fabian who threatened this one last. Oh, you were a good dwarf, a craftsman like no other. But you were an incorrigible whoremonger as well. Whenever we put a bit of coin aside, I'd say, let's buy some tools, quality timber. No, he grabbed the purse and head out whoring. Took to following one in particular. He'd say, "'Tis all your fault, dirty bitch, human dish rag." Rather obscenities. Don't rightly know what that was about. Maybe he was in love with her.
Know where I can find her, this dish rag?
City cemetery. She died a few days back, quietly in her sleep. Her pont said a fever took her.
Fine, we've talked enough. Need to look around.
Be my guest. Just beware of the dogs.
Statues of the old gods. Nothing but women. Shapely ones. Bloodstains.
That's where Fabian lay when they found him.
Murderer dragged something heavy. Dragged something across the floor. Statues. Or dragged it from one wall to the other, repeatedly.
Aye.
Had a look at your sculptures.
And? Lifelike, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. The women especially. Never seen a bust that size on Melitele.
Oh, aye. Fabian's handiwork. I told him, brother, tits like that would crush her back. Whittle him down. He said, nay, they'd sell better this way. Told me to shut me trap. And sell they did. Till one sermon at the temple. And the celebrating reverend said that whoso buys idols from the non-human Myers sins twofold, as a heretic and as a lecher. That was the end of that.
Mind if I go inside the workshop?
I've not even peeked inside since they found Fabian. But I'll open it for you if you want. Aye.
Fine. We've talked enough. Need to look around.
Be my guest. Just beware of the dogs.
More bloodstains. But not near enough to say he bled to death. Unless... somebody furniture got knocked over. Left a few stains behind. Furniture got knocked over. This looks like it was kicked. Eyes. Humanoid. Completely rotten. Formaldehyde. Doubt Fabian used it. Formaldehyde. Doubt Fabian used it. Formaldehyde. Doubt Fabian used it.
Aye.
Already know what happened. Fabian was in the workshop. Murderer attacked him there. They struggled. Fabian was overpowered, then tortured. For a time.
I needn't know the details. Truth be told, I hadn't the stomach for him.
When it was over, the murderer dragged Fabian to the courtyard, then made a pyre of sculptures, set them aflame.
But why? Why do all that?
To teach a lesson. To him, you, the whole city. Fine, we've talked enough. Won't learn anything else here. Take care.
Your average non-human don't do chocolate.
How you go with this thing? I was fluffing about minding my own business.
Lay me down with a barrel of beer and a cup in my right hand. And me coffin sitting.
Wobbly. It's an overripe sheep's feet.
Oi, Witcher! Coroner wants to see you. Been another victim. Told me to say the main door will be open for you. You're to come as soon as you can.
Say, I'm dying of poverty.
Hey. Oh. Hey. Are you all right? Welcome.
You Eustace, the corpse collector?
Aye? How'd you know?
Fourth sense, I think it is. You bring Fabian Meyer's body to the morgue?
Oh, yeah, I remember. No ice, no art, one of them, right? No purse neither, as I recall.
One of them? So there have been other bodies like that?
Sure have. Beggars, street urchins, and street walkers. One was so portly, I had to cut her into pieces to fit her in me wheelbarrow. Slippery sow, they called her, on account of her.
Some things are best left unsaid. What happened to the pieces?
What do you mean? Reverend Nathaniel ordered them burned. Every last one. Oh, shame that was.
Shame? Why? Actually, never mind. Another thing that's best left unsaid. You searched Fabian's body?
Well, I cast an eye in his pockets. Made sure nothing went to waste.
I call a spade a spade. You rob corpses.
And I call a prick a prick. It's none of your fucking concern. What, you a tax collector? Piss off, mutant.
Talk. What did you find on him?
As you wish. Triflings, baubles, glass-beaded ring, handful of coins, and a letter. Look, vellum, quality parchment that. I'll wipe off the writing and sell it as new.
That's human skin. Priscilla. Next victim's name. If you'd given this to the right person, she might not have been hurt.
What the fuck do I care what happens to some Priscilla? We short of wenches in this town. Oi, fucking hell! What was that for?
For everything.
What's he doing here? Ooh!
Welcome, Master Witcher.
Geralt, right? I'm glad you're here. Held off on the autopsy till you arrived.
Nice of you, especially given you didn't seem pleased about my previous visit.
Because you came unannounced and in unfortunate company. I also had Reverend Nathaniel to contend with. Our spiritual caretaker has left the city on some important matter, and I know who you are, what drives you. I'm more than happy to aid your investigation.
Not fond of Nathaniel?
Very few people are. He's cruel and capricious. He stormed in here once, grabbed a scalpel I was sterilizing over a burner, sliced my back with it to the bone, because I had forgotten to lock the storeroom. Hard to be fond of someone like that, wouldn't you agree?
Who's the victim this time?
Joris Aquinas, a lecturer in theology at Oxenfurt Academy. Found this morning at his home on a catafalque made of his books.
Any titles in particular?
It seems all the tomes dealt with the eternal fire. Treatises critical of the faith's doctrines.
Yeah, mortal sin in Novigrad. Von Grad's told me all about you.
Ah. Doubtless you've heard how I had the noble leader of the student protesters thrown in prison. But did you hear the protests were far from peaceful? Or did he neglect to mention it? People were dying, Witcher. Those who rejected liberty, equality, and fraternity would be found in the gutter come morning. Their throats slit from ear to ear with surgical precision. Joachim had been my favorite student, but alas, I had to do something. So I reported him. Then I left the university and found work in the morgue, where none care about my past. Whereas Joachim, oh, fate's ironies. Years later, he was appointed head of the very ward I had founded.
How old's Von Grad's? 50? 60?
53, I believe. Why do you ask?
You look a little young to have been his teacher.
Not surprising. For years, I've lived in the cold and dark, breathing the vapors of embalming fluids. In short, working with corpses extends one's life. Amusing, is it not?
Let's start.
Gladly. The wounds conform to the killer's modus operandi. The victim was bound and forced to drink formaldehyde. Next, the killer removed the eyes, placed burning coals in the sockets, then opened the rib cage and... What's this? A parchment. Made of human skin.
A message from the murderer. The name of his next victim. Patricia Vegelbud.
Do you know her?
Yes. Even went to her estate once with... Gotta find her, now.
Till next time, Master.
Oh!
Well, you're all just with a line.
The time of the cleansing has come. The fire shall sear the boils.
What do you want?
Need to talk to Patricia Vegelbud.
You think any bum off the street can...
Her life's in danger. Let me in or have her blood on your hands.
If you thought this up, and I'll let you in, I'll throw my arse out the door.
Always thought a guard was supposed to protect his charge, not his ass.
So be it. I'll take you to Lady Vegelbud. Just no trickery. Understand?
Oh, Geralt, what a pleasant surprise.
Not pleasant at all. I gotta see your mother. Her life's in danger.
In danger? Come now, I saw Mother this morning. She seemed sad, true, but in perfect health.
No time to explain. Trust me, please.
I find this all very hard to believe, but you appear to be quite serious. Please, follow me.
A fire fit for Bellatane, except it's the wrong time of year.
I mentioned Mother seemed sad. Do you remember? In fact, she's in the midst of a crisis of faith. A rather serious one. We'd been to Novigrad. Mother had seen the pyres in Hierarch Square, uttered not a word on our way home. She had all the holy books in Signia's reliquaries gathered, taken outside and burnt. Then she locked herself in her room.
We need to hurry.
Hear that? Calm and quiet. All seems to be in order.
We should go in, just to be sure.
You're relentless, aren't you? Fine. But wait here, please. Mother's certainly not in the mood for guests.
He ran out the other door! Catch him!
Now! Murderer's still here!
I'll break your bones!
There he is! Get him! Eat dirt! Halt! Or I'll put a bolt between your eyes!
Listen, you got the wrong guy.
Save your trickery, taking you to the heiress.
Well, killer's already escaped. Lead the way, hero.
We got him, Lady Ingrid. It wasn't easy, but...
Lower that crossbow before you hurt yourself. This man is innocent.
Forgive me. I saw him running. Thought it was the killer fleeing.
I was chasing him, and I'd have caught him if you hadn't gotten in my way.
Out of my sight, at once! Mother! Why did he do this to her? Why?
Because she blasphemed the eternal fire, only thing that ties her to the other victims. Ingrid, I know this is a hard time for you, but usually the killer leaves a note on the body, a note indicating his next victim. May I?
Very well. But you should be on your own. I do not wish to see her in this state. I do not wish to remember her like that. And let her be the last victim. Please.
Bruises, broken fingernails. She defended herself. Must be why it took him longer, and why he almost got caught. Here it is. Sweet Nettie, crippled Kate's. Growing bolder, not just the name but the place too. Won't get away this time. Same wounds as the previous victims. Examination would be a waste of time. Gotta get to crippled Kate's, fast. Another empty formaldehyde bottle.
No use doing any work in this rain. Another drifter into Tiberias.
Think I pissed my trousers.
Ooh. Hey, you blasphemous cobras.
Whoa!
Freak, come one, come all. Freak. Oh.
Oh, that's bad luck.
Sweet Nettie, where is she?
Upstairs. But she's with a very important client. Do not disturb them. The thinking customer will see right away I've got the best deals this side of the pond.
No one will hear you, bitch. Not a soul.
You, though? Whole town will hear you in a minute.
Yet again you disturb me, and I so dislike being disturbed. I was to play with sweet Nettie, render her not so sweet, but I shall see to you first.
First, gotta tell me why you do it.
For pleasure. Satisfaction.
Achievable with whores in a lot of ways, many traditional. Doesn't take killing them, trust me.
Who said anything about killing? I could stop at a few burns. 3rd degree, but still. This rosy skin will roast quite well.
Spare me your lies. I've seen your victims. I know how they end. You don't stop. Not unless someone gets in your way. Like I'm doing now.
What the fuck are you on about?
Murder. You killed Fabian Meyer, Patricia Vegelbud, and many others.
Bollocks. You're mistaken, vagrant.
Found a message on Patricia's body. Led me here to crippled Kate's. To sweet Nettie. If you didn't leave it, who did?
I don't know. But I see we must talk. Calmly.
Who knew you'd be here?
Strangely enough, I don't announce these outings far and wide. There's but one man who... That's impossible. He treats even corpses with kid gloves.
The coroner. Said you were busy, that you wouldn't visit the morgue. Gotta go after him.
Go. To Warehouse 12 at the docks. He's there this time of day procuring supplies. Formaldehyde. I shall stay here. I've unfinished business with sweet Nettie. After all, I paid in advance.
You'll untie her, drop your coin pouch on the table, then leave here and never come back.
Yes, I will.
Good boy.
I wouldn't find dog outside in this.
Didn't look like rain.
Already using this. About to get my arse wet.
Oh!
Run out of formaldehyde.
I underestimated you. You almost caught me in flagrante delicto. Now you've seen through my bluff with Nathaniel. Although, you've not divined all, I see. Had you, you would have drawn your silver sword.
What are you?
A vampire. Higher, of course.
Got a reason for killing? A reason to torture?
I thought you'd figure that out as well. The symbolism's rather obvious. Coals for those who are blind to the fire. The egg of a salamander born of fire to replace their cold, doubting hearts. Fire down the throat that...
Yeah, symbolism's clear. What's not is why a vampire would kill in the name of the eternal fire.
should be equally obvious. I concur with the Church's diagnosis. Novigrad is a fallen city. Its population amnesiacs to the very concepts of decency and morality. So I decided to remind them, in a manner they'd be certain to notice.
There are other ways. Could have set up a soapbox in Hierarch Square, preached from it.
How funny. That's exactly what I did. But none listened. Instead they laughed, threw stones. Give a thought to my victims. A lecherous woodcarver who'd spend his last copper on whores. An old countess who defiled symbols of the faith. A Trebirates for whom nothing was sacred, nothing above ridicule. They did not deserve to live. But their deaths could be a lesson to others. Awaken them, scare them onto the correct path, the path to the fire, to cleansing, to salvation. For you, I'm afraid it's too late. You are a man of little faith. I sense this.
But I'm pretty good with a sword.
Pretty good. Might not cut it.
Oh!
I say, I've been cranky since morning. Bill, save me. Whoa! Bill, save me. I'm dying.
Looking for something unusual.
Ah! The thinking so
Oh!
Another drifter in for Tabel. Youth these days, they're brained, all of them.
Folk in this
Help a poor fellow out. What say you?
White one, take a gander over.
Ain't nothing pretty in this life save daffodils.
I'm knackered.
I'm a witcher! Ha, yeah!
Eternal fire. Deliver us from all evil embodied.
Hey, free boy.
This Dr. Von Grantz, he any good?
Aye, he's good, but strange.
How's...
Better, right?
Yes.
Did you take care of what I asked?
Yeah. The Witcher's way.
Thank you, Geralt. From me and Priscilla.
Did my part. Your turn now. Take care of her. Good care.
I will. You'll see. Treat her better than the Dryads of Broccolon could.
She's talking again. Nice surprise.
Isn't it? Professor Von Gratz told me her wounds are healing faster than a troll's. Not the most flattering comparison, but encouraging. Maybe she might even sing again someday. For now, we'll try performing as a duo. She'll play the lute, I'll sing. Dandelion and Calinetta. Got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Sounds great. Good luck, Dandelion. On stage and off.